Hi everybody, it's Lily, and today I thought it would be fun to try painting with some nail polish. I saw Casey Golden do this once. She had like color changing nail polish and she decided to paint a picture with it, and I thought it was really interesting. I don't have color changing nail polish, so it's not going to be super fancy, but I do have quite a few colors, and so I'll just show them right now. I've got some sparkly kind of metallic ones. I've got some peachy ones, some purples, blues. Those are my favorite kind of colors. Also black, so that's gonna be nice for like shading and outlines and stuff. Ooh, I also have this sparkly kind of top coat, so we can try something like that. Yeah, I think this is going to be fun, so let's get started. So first off, I of course am painting with some nail polish, and I wanted to use a thicker paper because nail polish is kind of thick, and so I used watercolor paper, and I decided to draw some moths, and I think moths are some of my favorite bugs. I think that they're kind of underappreciated. They're just as beautiful as butterflies, and they're fuzzy and cute, and I love moths. So I drew a couple moths. So I was always really inspired by scientific illustrations. I really like ones depicting bugs kind of almost like they've been pinned to a board, but rather than the actual bugs being dead pinned to a board, they're drawings. I just love that kind of art. And so I wanted to do some art like that with this nail polish. I tried to do just a clean top-down view of the moth, like it is pinned to the board almost, and no shadows or anything. I think trying to do shadows with this would have just been too tricky. And so, yeah, the process of using nail polish. So I tried to do some blending of the colors. I was going to actually mix the nail polishes together, but that didn't really end up working out, so I decided to just work fast, put down a layer, put down some of the other stuff, and try to kind of blend it together with the brush. The first painting, this first moth, I wasn't so totally sure what I was doing, but by the second moth, I get a better feel for how the brushes work and how to get some interesting brush marks and brush variation, things like that. And I think the size of the brushes made this kind of difficult. Trying to do finer lines obviously was very much a challenge because these brushes are they're bigger than what I would use for outlining and things like that. And they're also a lot more flexible and kind of floppy. So trying to control them was kind of difficult. Trying to get some contrast in these paintings was very difficult too, because I had kind of a limited color range. I only had that many nail polishes. And so adding that contrast was tricky. Again, controlling the brushes was kind of difficult. The smell, if you've ever painted your nails, you know that nail polish has a kind of a noxious smell, and I was doing this with my window closed at first, and I was just like gassing myself out. I was like, okay, I need to probably get some air in here so I don't pass out. And so that was kind of horrible, to be totally honest. It was just so smelly. Oh, right here I am using the black nail polish, and this one was an OPI nail polish, and the quality of the brush for this nail polish was much better than the Sally Hansen's. I was kind of surprised by that because Sally Hansen is a pretty good brand. I mean, OPI is more premium or whatnot, a few extra bucks, but I wasn't expecting the brush to be a higher quality like that. I thought it was just the nail polish. So yeah, I used the black nail polish to do some outlining on the moth just to add that contrast again. I kind of like how it turned out anyway. And then I started the second moth. So because of my limited color palette, I had to kind of just use what I had. The Luna moth is in real life a lot more green, but I had just like these kind of blue colors, so I just kind of went for it. And the Polyphemus moth is not quite this orange, but I mean, art's art. You can paint it however you'd like and with whatever colors you got. So I was just using what I had. When I was doing the brush strokes here on the Polyphemus moth, I wanted to reserve areas of white for the wings, so I tried to kind of just brush around there and kind of, you know, getting that texture by kind of dabbing the brush. Again, trying to emulate some fur on the moth's body. Yeah, there we go. Those are the long strokes. I really like how those turned out. It was super satisfying to do. Yeah, I think that was my favorite part, was this orange here. Again, yep, kind of doing that dabby technique with the brush, dabbing it down, really trying to work with the brush rather than against it. I used a sparkly orange paint on top to kind of act as a kind of almost a shade, and trying to shade it a little bit and kind of it's more translucent, so I was trying to use it to kind of blend out that area of harsh contrast of the orange and the white. Yeah, just going over and adding some sparkle. I think the most tricky part, well, all of this was tricky, but one of the trickier parts was using the black nail polish, just because it was so dark in comparison to everything else. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna totally smudge it and make a huge mess. And so I paid a lot of attention to how I was putting that down. I kind of started to paint this almost like it was a print, if that makes sense. So kind of trying to make some more blobs and things like that. It almost looks like a print too, which I find so interesting. I enjoy how these moths have the little eyeball design on their wings. I just think that that's so cool. Adding some definition between the wings and the body and some more textures. Some things I enjoyed about this process. I just love how sparkly these nail polishes are and shiny and beautiful. I feel like a lot of the paints that I've used, I don't know, maybe I'm not getting the correct paints, but none of them are shiny like this. Maybe I need to start mixing my own. I need to like get some mica dust or something and actually make some glittery paints, because I'm so into it. I just absolutely love the way these shine in the light. And if you know of any like acrylic paints that are like this, I know that there's the opalescent paints, those are kind of like watercolors, but if you know of any acrylic paints that are like this with the sparkles and the shimmer and stuff, totally let me know, because I would love to use that kind of stuff in my fine art things in the future. Painting with the nail polish, because I was doing it in layers, you know, I'd put down one layer, wait for it to dry, put another layer on top, kind of like watercolor almost. It was a really interesting process to get a hang of. I got some interesting textures and some line qualities and variations that I wasn't expecting, and I actually kind of like how it turned out. Yeah, on this orange one, I managed to get some very nice brush strokes on the wings, and I think that's a definite plus from using these nail polishes. Yeah, overall, I had just a fun time with this. I mean, of course, painting with normal paints is always going to be better, but trying some non-traditional mediums is actually super fun, and it's kind of weird to see what kind of art you can make with stuff that's not intended to be used this way. It's always entertaining for me, at least. I also added the scientific names of the bugs at the end down at the bottom to kind of add that scientific illustration feel. So this is how they turned out, and I'm actually super pleasantly surprised with it. I think in the beginning, I was kind of unsure as to how they were looking, but I think that, you know, adding that little bit of black with the contrast really, really helped. They're both nice and shiny. Oh, so beautiful. I think my favorite, I think I like the Polyphemus moth a little bit better. It's the second one I did, so it turned out a little better in my opinion. I had a lot of fun with this challenge. I totally recommend anybody else trying it out if you have nail polish and you want to give it a go. Anyway, I just want to thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.